Guys, I want to start with you, DJ. Who would you say is the Dennis Rodman of the PBA Tour? Who needs time away?
That's a hard one. I'm gonna go with Simonson. I picture Simonson walking down the street in Vegas at like 3 in the morning.
And Tommy, what about you? Who would you think would be?
Simonson's a good call, but I would go with Jacob because Jacob's been known to go on a bender for about 48 hours before, especially at the U.S. Open the one year in Wichita when he bowled A squad and didn't have to bowl till C the next day, and he went on a bender and then came back and just put a big number up that night. But those are two. I'll agree with Simonson, but Jacobs Butters would be my guy.
So let's follow up with this Mookie stuff. So you guys are like really close friends with Mookie. How did that come about?
I asked Cam one day, when we were out there, I said, "Hey man, do you mind giving me Mookie's number?" And he gave it to me. And move fast forward into the spring training. I always watched him in a couple days. There was a couple days he had a homer, and like the next day he went like 2 for 3 or something like that. So I just shot him a message, just kind of a shot in the dark. Say, "Hey man, good playing today." And he responded back right away, like it was, just like it was, me texting Tommy or something like that. Whenever we met him in, Reno, that was like like his third year of his contract. So he was only making like 900,000 at the time. And, now to see the guy, make over, he's obviously made over $50 million the last 2 years. He's still the same person as he was when we first met him. And, he just,
Still
all
cheap.
he's very cheap. But all he wanted to do, like Tommy said, he just wanted to tag along. He was like, "Hey guys, you mind if I come hang out with you guys, or go to dinner or something like that?" We're like, "Bro, why do you want to hang out with us scrubs? Like, go do something cool or whatever." He was like, "Nah, I want to hang out with you guys." So, it doesn't matter, man. He's down to earth, and I think that's what we like about him the most.
You've got a very established amateur career as a bowler. My first question is: have you ever considered the tour earlier in your bowling career, and why did you determine that you should just stay amateur?
I did, and part of me still wants to go do it. I mean, ever since I was a kid, I mean, I lived at the bowling alley and watching bowling on Saturday, on ABC. Just but for me, it was, and I'm not saying this in an arrogant way, but I always thought that I had the ability to go out there and compete. But for me, I felt that I had to make a decision early on in my career that, are you going to chase your dream, or are you going to turn your focus to make a career out of something else and kind of like become a weekend warrior? So
And I particularly remember when I look back at the history of what we've done with inside bowling, there's some moments that stand out to me. One of those moments is that year when you came in and when you sat in the booth and we talked about your father, and you had a really big decision to make, whether you stay home for dad and family, or if you get back in the saddle, head to St. Louis and bowl the holiday doubles with Liz Johnson. And could you tell us just a little bit about your thought process in coming to St. Louis and how you felt lacing them up right after your father had passed?
yeah, and you definitely had me choked up there, and you've got me choked up now. But the decision wasn't honestly too difficult. It was getting my mind off of it, and being around friends, and just kind of like little change of pace rather than staying home and focusing on just him not being around anymore.
You've got to work with so many different people over the years that
Lucky.
that we thought we would have some fun here today,
Sure.
and maybe offer some people inside of your mind of what you think
Sure.
about particular styles of bowlers. So we have, in our opinion, the three greatest styles of players that you've ever worked with in your career. That's just our opinion, and we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Sure.
So, Matt, if we could get the first player up, we all know this guy is Pete Weber from St. Louis. Probably was given a hard time on the Beef and Barnesy show about I'm in love with Pete Weber and all these different things. And
I am too. You know that. I mean, him and I go way, way back. And yeah, Pete and I have done a lot of great things together. And
Okay, continuing down our trip of
Sure. Who we got next?
our opinion, 3 of the best styles you've ever worked with in the history of bowling.
Uh,
Next up, Jason Belmonte. Yeah, so we've brought up 2 iconic styles you've worked on, 2 of the best of all time. We've got one more for you.
sure.
Before we bring up this bowler, who do you think it is that we're bringing up here?
Is it a guy or a girl?
It's a guy. And
It,
you have probably worked with this person more than anybody else in your
that's
entire life.
Norm.
As a matter of
Norm.
fact, I know that's who it is. Matt, let's go ahead and show everybody who the third bowler is. We need you to break down
Oh
this
my God, that's a
guy.
really old. Where'd you find that at?
All right, let's go ahead. Let's play this clip.
Oh my God.
Jim
You know what? This was the first year that I actually. Oh my God, this is terrible.
We've got a couple.
You didn't even get a good one. There's
No,
other
we
ones that are.
have it. Let's just play the
There's a
bad.
few of them. God, I think
right.
I was 14, I think.
So here's Jim Callahan.
What terrible. That's awful.
Right through the face. Oh no,
That's
no.
not right through the face.
No,
What are
I'm
you talking
sorry.
about?
You had the wrong one queued up.
I threw the high hard one. I threw the Brunswick. I threw the Brunswick edge right there, and I threw the high hard one. I need to bend over a little bit more at the foul line so I could tie my shoes. You know what I mean? And this guy thought he was going to beat me. He couldn't beat me if he kept score. He ain't beating me.
So this guy needed a double, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So let's walk through here.
How's that shirt he's got working there?
Yeah, I know. This is insanity. I know when
you weren't even born then, Chief. So.
I was not. I was not born for another 10 years.
I was 5 years old. 5 years old right here.
A little 5-year-old Mikey. So when you're repping somebody, right, and they're in a close match with somebody else, and their opponent goes Brooklyn, you're probably like, oh my God, whatever. Like, this is so stupid, right?
I don't care. It's another frame.
What's going?
Oh, I was bent right here.
Yeah, what's going?
He Brooklyn's, doesn't he? Doesn't he Brooklyn?
Oh, it's a terrible shot.
Oh, I was bent. Yeah. Look at that. Not even. It was never right at a head pin.
You like that little move he had?
Toe.
Let's run that back.
It was never right at a head pin. This was a big title too. This was actually the qualifying for this. I think was the first time I ever bowled a 700 series.
Wow.
I bowled like 730 something.
Wow, that's awesome.
To make it, and I was the leader. I was the leader in a lot of these tournaments.
He bowled like 33 or something to get in.
Yeah.
But
I loved bowling. This is like 2 years before this. I actually went to Penn State bowling camp, and a guy named one of the greatest lefties ever that. That was close.
If they had spec though for back in the day for those 2 shots.
Yeah, it would have been a little different.
Let's dig into this baseball though. You've got some stuff there behind you, and I want to lead off with this. You know, we became pretty close friends together, and then I
can tell you what that is before you even pull it up. You want that?
Yeah, go ahead. What do we got?
It's a St. Louis Cardinals helmet that I gave you in 2000. Yeah, that's a cool one, man. You know what's interesting? I love sports and I love things, and there's Albert Pujols right on the front.
Yeah, it's autographed by the entire team.
Yeah, you know that's their World Championship team. You know, I have a lot of things, and I've given away a lot of really good items. But you know what? I know that you would enjoy that a lot more than I would. I bought it and I liked it, but I knew that you would like it more, and that's part of the collecting thing. Is that, you know, when I have something other people really like, a lot of times I just give it to them.
You choose not to put yourself out there on social media. You don't make it a priority of yours. You're way more just soft-spoken, under the radar. When you're not bowling, you're enjoying your time with your family, at home, sticking to yourself, being in the country, away from people. Why is that?
Social media is a very powerful tool, and I understand that. But, you know, to me, is it really... Obviously, yeah, you can make money, people will know who you are and all that good stuff, but in the long run, is it really worth giving up all of that time taken away from the family and other things that I really enjoy doing just to get recognition from people? And one of the things that I kind of, I don't know how to say it, disappoints me, I think, about maybe some social media people that are like actually really famous, is to me, it just all seems fake. It doesn't seem real. Like I saw Jim Carrey posted about someone going up to a homeless person and giving them something, but recording the whole thing. Like that's not humanitarian. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do it without expecting anything in return. And that's what I don't like about a lot of people that do that kind of thing on social media. So it makes me want to withdraw away from it.
Moments, and there's this story involving Matt Sanders and a credit card. And I was wondering if you could tell that story here for all the people. Clean it up, of course, if need be. But this is a hilarious story that I think everybody deserves to hear.
Yeah, so it was a couple of years ago after Matt had won the Plastic Ball Championship that was in Memphis. I think it was the next time we were in Maine. Matt got on the same team as Smalls. I think it was like Smalls, Ronnie, Matt, Loesch, and Vodka or something like that, or Dom could have been. Very, very funny, very big drinking team. So they're at a bar in Portland, and Smalls says, "Hey, Matt, it's your turn to buy a round." Matt says, "Okay, but I'm not going to go get it." So he hands Smalls his credit card. Smalls, "Okay." And this kind of stuff is like why I love Tom Smallwood so much, because he does this stuff like quite often. So he goes to the bar and he orders a round, and he asks the bartender for a pair of scissors. He's like, "You got a pair of scissors?" He goes, "Yeah." So Smalls ended up even paying for the round. He didn't even charge Matt for the round. He comes back, brings the beers back, takes the 2 pieces of his credit card, throws it at him, and said, "Don't you ever big time me again."
Wow.
Oh man. And Tom has done a few things like that. And oh man, he's got some really, really good moments.
I had the pleasure one night of letting the guard down with you guys, and we were and we had a good time that night, and I got to hang out with you guys for the first time. And then,
no.
now we have we were at Brew Brothers, which is a place where a lot of people like to hang out, and we'd like to just play this quick clip of the guy that's good at just about everything. Yeah. This is Bryan at Brew Brothers.
Like my worst nightmare, dude. Good too, Mel.
Well, really quick, let me even tell you how that even happened. So we were in Reno for the Queens, and so we're there for like a week. So we were walking through. I would think we were going from Circus over to the El Dorado or something. So we passed Brew Brothers. And I was like, "Oh, they have live karaoke with a live band. Like, we should do this." So it was on Tuesday nights. And Bri just was like, "Oh yeah, if any of you EBI girls make the TV show for the Queens, then we'll do it." And I was like, "All right." So then I make the show, and Stephanie makes the show. And so it's the night of the live karaoke, and everybody is there, and they're texting us. And Brian's like, no, I'm not doing that. We're not going. And we went. So much fun.
Yeah, so one quick thing on the karaoke, then we'll drop the karaoke. So I enjoy karaoke, but it was in my olden days where maybe if I tipped maybe a couple extra back, that would be the time that I would get in front of a mic and I would just go to town. But then I dropped the alcohol from my system for over a decade, and so my karaoke went down when it's like a graph, they went together hand in hand. So that was the first time I think maybe ever that I had tried to sing karaoke without any
being sober.
aiming fluid in my body.
Hey everyone, thanks for checking out our show. What a wild week that was, week number 2. If you like the show, be sure to check us out Monday through Friday on Facebook Live and on our YouTube channel. Also, if you've missed any past shows, you can watch them on YouTube, as well as podcast form on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Play. Lastly, I'd like to thank all of our guests who come on the show. Without them, we wouldn't even have a show. And of course, Matt and I would like to thank all of you listeners for watching and participating during the show.